bring in those. Yo, what's up?
Hey, hey, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm alive. That's a good day.
Nice.
So where are you at right now?
Our new facility. So we just moved. We're moving in still. Um,
Okay.
so it's in Dover. It's about 10
Dover,
miles from
New
our old facility.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
So do you guys have snow right now?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have snow. It's winter.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, no kidding. So as far as snow, I mean, what does snow look like for you guys up in New Hampshire?
Um,
I mean, do you
what?
guys get quite a bit?
Yeah, we'll have snow on the ground for a few months, and we can get 18 inches of snow in a day.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm down in San Antonio, Texas, so
That's
anything that pops up snow-wise, that's shuts down the entire place. So
yeah. Yeah. For a place between San Antonio and Rock Springs. Um,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
oh,
have you hunted out there?
oh yeah, a bunch of times. Yeah, I have friends there. Oh yeah, backpacking that cherry bomb. Yep. Oh, thank you so much. You're the best. Um,
Yeah. I've got
yeah.
some friends that do hunting out in Rock Springs, and they always talk about the good whitetail and the axis and everything that's out there. So it's a
Oh
pretty good
yeah,
area.
yeah. That's where I was looking because free range access and yeah, whitetail. There's also black buck and aoudad that free range out there, but yeah, axis I would eat every day, so that'd be a good,
Oh
good.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, obviously you're a hunter. I mean,
Yeah,
I think anybody that has followed you for enough time has realized that that's a big passion of yours.
yeah. I'll this like this is because we're moving in. This stuff I've got to go through.
Oh, so you have a lot of trophies around.
Yeah, so I don't typically do shoulder mounts, but
Okay.
sometimes there's a bunch of stuff. I'll do them for the office. Um, but yeah, a bunch of stuff I got to go through here.
So do you have
Yeah,
this at
you
the
hunt?
house as well, or is it just primarily the office? Do I hunt? I like to,
No, I have some
but
skull.
I'm not. You have some what? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I only have one shoulder mounted animal at the house. It's a red stag.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
kind of special to me, and then I have some skull mounts of various animals.
Yeah, very nice. Well, that's definitely something that anybody from Texas can definitely appreciate. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So Kevin, man, I'm glad that I have you on a face, this whole Instagram live. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be before my account's deactivated too. I mean, it sounds like you guys have had a lot of issues with that recently.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a while to figure it out. So we're on our backup account right now. But
Yeah.
it's so funny because I'll get messages about, oh, those fucking liberals that run Instagram, and it's no, it's in our industry. Our accounts get shut down because of the little Reddit haters, um,
Yeah.
18 to 23-year-olds that know everything, and I mean, I think that's a cool thing for them, which is kind of sad to go around and troll people and report them and do all that and try to be funny and have meme pages and like that's cool. But it's unfortunate. But it's just like me, the leftists now with the media. When I was a kid, like the freedom of speech, the left was worried about the right, squashing that, and now it's obvious that the liberals are the ones doing it. And
Sure.
it's the same thing in our industry. We got these stupid fucking kids that have never done anything or accomplished anything that troll accounts or talk shit. And so what's going on is they're just reporting our accounts nonstop, and they're shutting them down, which is okay. I was successful before there was social media, so like, we can abandon the whole thing for that matter. But
Yeah. So realistically, with that being the case, I mean, do you feel that it's impacting business at all, or do you think that, at least just from the social standpoint, that doesn't make a difference? People
no,
obviously know Q, they know your technology, so it's like, great, you shut down one account, now what? Keep going.
no, I'll engage in it because it's great for us. Like we've never had so
Yeah.
many. It's funny, like because most of the hate that I'll see will be, oh, what about their welds? And we had 4.5 years ago, we had out of 100,000 silencers, we had 20 where we welded incorrectly because we have robot welders, but they used the program for the 1.5 inch silencer on the 1 3/4 inch, and we didn't get penetration. We had
Sure.
some, of course, we took care of everyone and, replaced their silencer plus a silencer generally.
Yeah.
And that's all they have to say, but they bring it up and it's like, I don't, whether it's like bullshit companies like Black Collar Firearms or whatever they are, or people that call us out. Like I get a lot of media attention, and I don't really give a shit about social media, but I'll engage in it because it's good for us, And the haters think they're hurting us, and it's actually just like free marketing for us.
Sure. And at the end of the day, I think that's the biggest part. Any exposure is good exposure, especially when you own a company like that. I think, what they're trying to do with social media though is just be able to sit there and censor what they like and what they don't like. And at the end of the day, I mean, your company does not necessarily need social media, but at the same time, it is a good way for you to sit there and engage with your, whether it's a follower, whether it's somebody that's a customer of yours.
Yeah,
And, I know I've done that with you guys. So,
yeah, it's a shame that you have some yeah, whether it's some of the wannabe companies, um, or just some of these little trolls. I'm the only guy that I see on Instagram that has my experience, that owns a company, that will engage with anyone.
yeah,
And, they're just ruining that. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like a lot of people who do nothing but look, spend an hour on Google and think they're an expert on something. Um, if I were interested in guns or interested in 300 blackout or something like that, I would value my opinion with my
sure.
experience. Um, but I don't know. I was stupid when I was young too. So
But the other thing too though is we live in a digital age, right? I mean, everything is through, the phone. It's through, computers, iPads, everything. And so with that being the case, I mean, it's easy to hide behind a computer.
yeah,
You're not going to get these types of comments if you were face to face.
no, it's interesting. I was just at SHOT Show for the first time in, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and walking around. We didn't have a booth or anything. We walked around. We had a couple meetings and we did a military demo. And so the head of my engineering and I walked around for a couple days to meet with people and to see some stuff. And I probably had 100 people stop me to ask me questions or to take pictures.
Sure.
Not a single negative comment.
Yeah, go figure, right? It cracks me up.
Yeah, because to me, like if I say something to you on social media, I'll say it to you. Um, I don't like no matter what it is, and so it's interesting to me having a generation of people who think that Reddit or Instagram's a real fucking place. It's just not.
Yeah.
And I just laugh at it. It doesn't bother me. Say whatever the hell you want. Like we have enough product out there and it speaks for itself. Like I know we innovate. The military and government knows it. If some 23-year-old that's building AKs, for $300 a piece in his basement doesn't know it, I couldn't care less.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with you really talking about that, I mean, we have what 80, 90 people here right now, quite a bit more than I was anticipating. But I mean, as far as, where you are as Q, like talk me through the process, where you came from the very beginning, from the point where you're like, you know what, this is a passion of mine, this is something I want to get into, and really where you are today. I mean, talk me through this. I mean, kind of help everybody understand exactly why you are where you are right now.
Um, well, to go all the way back at 19, I started a company called Advanced Armament. And I was in college, and
Yep.
it would be like a part-time job, and I started out um, bought as a silencer dealer and distributor, and buying and selling machine guns when they were more readily available and affordable.
Okay.
So I did that. That company grew. The silencer division grew. We started making our own stuff. won military contracts, developed 300 blackout. I hired real engineers. We corrected all the mistakes I made. And then it was bought by Cerberus for a lot of money. So I retired for a few years. I couldn't work for a few years because of my agreement with them. And then decided I didn't really want to own a company, or I didn't want to work for them, and I went to SIG for a couple of years. But, I tried to work for Remington, once I sold the company, and then also SIG, and it just doesn't work out. I want to move faster. And what I realized in this process is that I love innovation.
Sure.
I'm not chasing money, and that's where it's easy for me to be honest. And that's where it's easy for me to fire customers.
Yeah.
I value my time at work every day, the people here, the innovation that we do, and trying to change stuff in the industry. And I value very much our customers. But, there's some that are unreasonable. And I think what Ethan and I learned, so the head of my engineering is Ethan Lassard, and he was at AAC. He's from SIG. Then he went back to SIG. And I think we chased the military for a long time, and we were successful. Like Surefire promoted that they had, their little 223 can as the SOCOM contract. Well, we won 3 out of 4 awards, and we would have won 223, but our flash hider didn't work with the Mark 18 they had at the time, so we were disqualified. But on the M4, every other gun, we beat it.
Sure.
And that was just a lot of work. It's working with the military, and it's doing contracts, and it's like letting them have input. And I think at the time when we started Q, we didn't really need money, and it was we want to do what we want to do, and we think our experience, we can be ahead of the curve with the military or the commercial. And you see, we started with the fix, and the fix was 2016. And we thought Hillary was going to win the election. And so the fix being a bolt gun, something Ethan and I had wanted to do for 10 years.
Sure.
And so we did that. And it's the first product we've ever done we could sell in California. Nice. Now, yeah, I've got a couple here. I've got a few here to show you as well.
Yeah, I've got my 6.5 right here.
Nice. Beautiful. I've got hunting with this weekend. So this is a 16-inch 8.6 with going to talk about.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the difference in the cherry bomb size there.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So,
big difference.
Yeah, so 16-inch 8.6, which is what I took my first Cape Buffalo with. But I think what we wanted to do was when we were part of a contract for a SOCOM customer at Remington, we did the MSR rifle, and we saw the capability of having a modular bolt gun, a folding stock, and how the Remington 700 had been on the market for a long time, and this could be the next generation of that. And so Ethan was thinking about the fixed rifle for a long time, and it just made sense when we were starting Q. We did that first, then we did the Honey Badger, and we've been in back order land ever since. We haven't been able to focus a ton on silencers, but we did the first generation of silencers, which are excellent. Trash Panda Thunder Chicken, half full Nelsons, the El Camino, recently the Erector silencers. And, we've got a year to a year and a half back order. We're here in a new building, new facility. We've got a lot of new machines. That's going to help with the back order situation. We've got a lot of great new partners and vendors that are going to help us with it. And the goal for us is to do what we think the market needs and the industry needs and what we would want without outside influence. And that's what 8.6 is. When we did 300 blackout, as soon as we were done, Ethan and I took 338 Federal. We built some guns, and because we wanted to do 300 blackout for 308 base guns. We quickly realized that the case was too long, just like 260 and 6.5 Creedmoor. The case was too long for heavy subsonic bullets because 338 Federal, great cartridge. If you're shooting inside of 100 meters, is better than 308 all day long. And so we're doing the things that we want.
Which most hunting is anyway at that point.
What's that?
I said which most hunting is at that point. You know, really anything within about 300 meters is where a majority of hunting is going to take place.
I would say 99%. So,
Yeah.
but what we realized is, you know, the case was too long for the long, heavy subsonic bullets. And the new cartridge had to be what 300 Blackout is. Is it the ultimate cartridge for everything? Maybe not. But if you have an existing platform, there you go. If you have an existing platform and you've got to feed something through it where you need full mag capacity, you need reliability, you don't want to change the bolt. All you want to do is barrel change. This is where we ended up. And what's helped a lot is the fast twist barrel. We're running a 1 in 3 twist barrel. It's super fast, and we've designed everything really around a 12-inch barrel. But we have 16-inch. You get, you know, better performance, longer range, and we also have an 8-inch barrel.
Okay.
And the bullet's effective. You know, that's a 300-meter gun with an 8-inch barrel.
Yeah.
So a 5-pound gun.
That's incredible, by the way. 8-inch barrel out to 300 meters with an 8.6 round. That's incredible.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at this gun. I mean, this isn't, I can't back up enough.
And so that's your 8-inch, correct?
Yeah, this is my 8-inch. This gun's 5 pounds, and it's
the beast.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's bolted. I think it's 16 inches or something.
No kidding.
So,
awesome.
You know, when you think, here's the cherry bombs to show you the difference.
Oh my word.
Yeah,
that's such a big difference.
This gun's turned out better than I anticipated. It's amazingly quiet. It's accurate.
Okay.
It's at 300 meters. It's accurate. And it's incredibly compact. Like it's the, you know, smaller. Well, let's see. You know, it's less than the width of my shoulders.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredible package right there. I mean that would be perfect for any kind of, you know, backpacking or hunting trip in that area. I mean, it's tiny.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm hunting, you know, I had a farm in Georgia where I raised whitetail, and if I were hunting in the woods there or something, I'm going to have a shot inside of, you know, 150 meters. That's exactly what I'm taking.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So when we started seeing the benefits of fast twist, we originally explored fast twist for accuracy with subsonic. Was the requirements for the government back in the day that we're trying to get to 1 MOA with subsonic at 100. Well, what we've, and so the long, slow bullet, you got to spin it fast. So if you've got like a 308 that's got a 12-inch barrel, you should have a faster twist than the long barrel. You go short, you need to go faster. And there's lots of benefits. And so trying to get better accuracy, better dispersion, we started spinning the bullet fast, and we started seeing a dramatic difference. So 8.6 probably the first gun or first cartridge where you have a subsonic round that's sub MOA at 300 meters, and that was the objective.
See, that's impressive in itself. I mean, when you're talking 300 black, I mean, my honey badger, it's a 1 in 5 twist to be able to sit there and stabilize this round right here. So as we are talking 8.6 grain wise for a subsonic round, I mean, what are we looking at grain wise? For 8.6 subsonic.
With 8.6 subsonic, you've got 285 to 360 grains.
Wow. So definitely a big projectile there.
Yeah. So most of, you know, like the Hornady expanding subsonic for this is 315 grains. The Sierra Match King, which is a 300 grain bullet. I'm pulling out ammo here. Let's see. So we've got a bunch of ammo. The Sierra Match King's 300 grains. It's quieter than 300 Blackout. You know, this is a 185 GMX from Hornady. We get great velocity sonic round. So with subsonic, you're going to be 285 to 360. With supersonic, you're going to be 155, 60 grains to 225 probably. I shoot the Barnes 210 is an excellent cartridge for killing big animals. I've killed 4 Cape buffalo, and they've all been with Barnes 210. One was with the TSX, and three were with the TTSX. One was
Okay.
6-inch, and three were 11-inch barrels. My favorite is the TSX, the non-tipped. The Hornady 160 grain is great for medium-sized game, but in Africa, medium-sized gains like kudu. So like a
Sure.
kudu is the size of an elk. So
Yeah.
that's,
It's huge.
yeah, it's big. Let's see what this might be. The horn. I'm not sure.
So
Lehigh
So,
bullet.
and that's the Hornady version. So out of curiosity, I mean, you've obviously been developing this round for quite some time. I mean, it's been what, since 2017, 2018 is when you first initiated the development of it?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So over that time frame, who was your first engagement for development of the 8.6? And now of the number of people that are out there right now, I mean, obviously we've seen that Gorilla has jumped in, we've seen Hornady with it. I mean, there's a number of players who are now starting to look into this. I mean, this is going to be obviously the next 300 Black, if I'm not mistaken.
Um, it definitely will be successful. So originally,
Yeah.
um, Ethan and I have been talking about it for a long time. We've been working on it off and on. And so when we engage government and military clients, domestic
Hmm.
and abroad, this is something that we discussed as far as the capability improvement. And we had a foreign customer in the UK who was very interested. And so we started developing in conjunction with them. Hornady was the first place that we went. They're making the brass.
Okay.
They'll ammo eventually. They've developed a bullet, and it's a sub X bullet like their 300 Black and some of their others. I think they've got two or three sub X, and it's
Okay.
315 grain. Discrete Bix is developed a bullet, working on it. Makers is working on it. Gorilla, obviously, at SHOT Show. There's just a lot of things. COVID happened, and that can be an excuse for everybody. But also,
Absolutely.
most of the rifling machines in the country can only do a 1 in 6 3/4 twist. This is a 1 in 3 twist, and we stop there because 1 in 2 is probably best for accuracy and performance. Because when you spin bullets faster, you're taking energy from the sound and the flash, and you're putting it into the bullet, which puts it into the animal. And so Discreet
Sure.
Bullet has a great video, go to their Instagram page, of a split screen, the difference between a 12-inch barrel and 1 in 7 and a 1 in 3. And
Oh, and it's dramatic difference.
the initial wound cavity is probably 3 times bigger. And so eight
Yeah.
2 to 3 times what 300 Blackout is. It's just as quiet. It'll cost what 6.5 Creedmoor costs. It's full mag capacity. It uses the same bolt. An interesting thing with 8.6 over some other cartridges. So this is who makes this? Lancer, I think. So
Sure.
the front rib in the magazine.
Okay.
When you see Wildcats and the bullet is pointing inward, it's because the bullet diameter is too big for that front rib. So this is a very important point. Like 375 Raptor, people ask us about that. And there's a lot of Wildcat cartridges that are great for killing, whether it's 458 SOCOM, 375 Raptor, 6.8 SPC is a great round for killing. But how do you deliver the round? You have to have a magazine. You have to have
Sure.
it. And, it's real easy to develop a Wildcat round, relatively speaking. But developing a gun and a magazine, so 300 Blackout is successful, in my opinion, for a few reasons. The primary ones are it's a barrel change in a 223 gun, full mag capacity, super subsonic. What we did from 300 Whisper was the problem that J.D. Jones was having with 300 Whisper was he was using 308 Winchester bullets. So they're short and the ogive is wrong. And so the bullet is too fat where the front rib is. So what happened
Okay.
is the bullets point in and they don't feed correctly, and they don't feed correctly in the barrel extensions for ARs. So what we did was develop 30 caliber bullets with a correct ogive where they're the proper diameter to engage that and feed. That's really the big difference. And people say, "Oh,
Sure.
you didn't develop anything." Well, what I say is fuck you. It's he had a great idea. He couldn't execute it. Completed it. I I wanted to call it 300 Whisper. JD Jones wanted $600 a barrel for every gun we sold. to use the name
Oh
for.
my word.
That's why he's not involved.
Yeah.
Those are the real facts. But these, this is a very simple issue. When we talk about Wildcat cartridge or doing a cartridge, are you going to do a magazine? Are you going to do a gun? Are you going to be limited to 8 rounds? Well, the beauty of 8.6, and why we picked the 38 bullet, 308 Winchester, the neck of the case over the bullet happens to be 338 diameter, and it engages that front rib. So we shorten the case.
Okay.
It starts out as a 6.5 Creedmoor case because it's more efficient than 308 Win Mag, 308 Winchester, or 338 Federal, which is a 308 case. The taper and then also the shoulder, we shortened it, and the 338 bullet engages that rib in the magazine. Same as 308.
I got it.
That's how we get reliability in a bolt gun or a gas gun. And, reliability that the military will accept. So I think some of our pedigree, all the testing and all the contracts that Ethan and I have been in, has put us in a situation where we know what to do for something to be successful like this. And,
Sure.
Another thing, fast twist. So to skip around, fast twist, what it'll give you, spinning that bullet faster. A rifle bullet these are designed to expand with linear velocity. So the bullets get very fast.
Right.
And muzzle energy calculations never consider twist because twists used to always be the same. Now they're not. And if you speed it up from 111 to 1 in 10, it doesn't do anything. You can hardly calculate it. If you go down to 1 in 3, you're getting, we'll see. Are you getting 30% more energy on target? But spinning it fast, energy on target, and also the subsonic bullets will open faster. They don't need the linear velocity. So they'll open more reliably with a fast twist, which is also good. So you're getting more energy, better accuracy, and dispersion. The downside is not everybody can make a barrel. So Faxon's making barrels for us. Another vendor, we're setting up a barrel cell here in the new facility to be able to produce barrels for people as well.
So you talk about subsonic and you talk about your super as well, right? So obviously with super, you're going to have a lighter projectile. Subs, you're going to have a heavier grain on there. Now, my curiosity,
Correct.
though, is in your experience with hunting, whether it was in Africa or whether it's here domestic, did you prefer one over the other? Obviously, you're going to have super is going to have, more velocity on it. But at the same time, your subsonic, especially spinning at a 1 in 3, practically becomes like a blender blade, right? So it's going to really put the animal down at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you spin them fast too, that's another point that I didn't make. You just brought up, and for people to understand how this happens, think about a blender. You have generally 3 or 4 speeds. This is on high.
Sure.
And also the bullet, if you think about, okay, if you're 20 inches wide and you get shot and you've got 1 in 11 twist, that bullet's going to, by the time it enters, expands, it's going to turn 1.25 times inside of you. So there's that trauma and that cutting surface, because you can measure it. Once the bullet expands, starts cutting, you can measure that. So if 20 inches wide and you get shot with a 1 in 3, you're going to end up with 6 inside of you and triple the cutting area.
Right.
So there's just so many benefits to the fast twist. But for me, hunting dangerous game, I use the supersonic. And I do a lot of dangerous game hunting now, whether it's, just shot a lion with 11-inch 8.6 at 200 meters. Cape buffalo in a passion, so I shoot those. I'm going on an elephant hunt in about 3 weeks. I definitely use supersonic for something that can kill me. And the subsonic,
absolutely.
It's impressive, quite readily available. Shot some stuff with the subsonic, and it's unbelievable. Like, you hear the impact when you're using a silencer with super or subs. And 300 blackout's great.
Right.
But I think blackout, if you want to put it in the AR-15, it's the best 30 caliber you can get if you want super and subsonic. But on something like whitetail, if you're going to
Hmm.
shoot, I use Sonic inside 100 meters, and you need good shot placement with 8.6 with the fast twist. Oh, I mean, make a reasonably good shot, and it's good. I would shoot an elk at 100 meters with subsonic,
No
330,
kidding.
338, 8,
Wow.
get the fast twist. Um, the fast twist makes a difference, and
Yeah.
companies like Discreet Ballistics, Hornady makers, other companies are working on subsonic expanding projectiles. It's becoming a real thing, and I think you're going to see fast twists and a lot of short barrels. Another thing, the only reason we stopped at 1 in 5 with 300 blackout was the bullet that SOCOM adopted for subsonic. When we spun it,
Hmm.
where it opened up out of the muzzle.
No
Otherwise,
kidding.
yeah. But if we used a Sierra Match King bullet, it was more accurate. It was better. It was better for supersonic. But the subs that they chose would open out of the muzzle. And so again, with 8.6, you just need to use. We're testing every bullet we can find for the 1 in 3 twist, but at 1 in 3, we stop there rather than going to 1 in 2, because all your bonded bullets and your Sierra Match Kings, all your solid coppers, they work perfectly out of it. They don't open up out of the muzzle. If you go to 1 in 2, you can no longer use bonded bullets. You have to use only solid copper. So for the commercial side of this, 1 in 3 is what makes sense.
Which makes a lot of sense. I think the one thing that I continue to hear over and over though is 8.6 is going to be cost equivalent to a 6.5 Creedmoor. Now,
Yeah,
are we talking 6.5 Creedmoor, pre-election cycle? Are we talking 6.5 Creedmoor pre-COVID? Or are we talking right now where you're paying like 250 around?
I mean, I would say it's the same. This is like artificial.
Yeah,
I can't really speak to that. At COVID and with Biden, $23 a
right,
box, it's $50 a box.
right.
That's out of my control, raw materials and all. But originally, when we started working with Hornady on the cartridge, this is a question that I had, because it had to be affordable for the commercial market. And so the head engineer there, Mitch Middlestat, we met with him and talking to him about it, and he says, well, they base it on runtime in the machines for loading, and then the rest of it's a commodity, like brass,
Sure.
copper, and
Yeah.
the bullet costs more than a 6.5, but the brass costs less. It's not hard to load. 300 blackout's actually kind of difficult to load, and 300 blackout's not awesome. Doesn't have much of a shoulder, so it makes some things more difficult. But this
Hmm.
has a big shoulder. It's easy to load. It's a big cartridge, and that's what he said. It'd be 6.5 Creedmoor, or at most 10% more. And
Which realistically is not that bad when you're talking a 338 projectile.
no,
I mean, those rounds in general, I mean, you're talking $5, $6 a round from that point. So,
yeah, but this isn't a ton of brass. It's not a ton of powder. So there's a lot of savings there. And then the volume's going to help a lot with this. I mean,
sure.
blackout's always been artificially inflated because of demand. 300
Yeah.
black should cost 10% more than 223. But right now, everything's expensive if you find it. So I don't know about right now, but I think long term, that's another reason is why the cartridge really has legs on the commercial market.
Which I think is a valid point. I mean, I do have friends that do manufacture ammunition. And the biggest thing is like you said, brass, it's the commodity, it's the actual projectile. But also the other thing too is the primer. I mean, that's been a big sticking point is being able to find a primer around.
I mean,
So,
stuff. We only have two companies in this country now that make primers,
right. Right. And
so it's
that's and
hard.
that's a big sticking point. I mean, when you rely on two people or two companies, that's an issue. So if we're
Yeah.
talking 8.6 right now, I mean you've been in development for quite some time. Facts on Firearms
Mhm.
actually help, release not release, but showcase at SHOT Show the barrels. I mean, what sort of expected time frame do you think before we're going to see this come to market, both from a Q standpoint and also from just barrels?
It's the same discussion. Like if it weren't for COVID, it would have been out a year and a half ago. But some of
Of
this
course.
slows development. We're going to market now, so
Okay.
I know that we have the first order of barrel blanks here. Um, I think we have some completed barrels. I'm not sure. And I haven't even made the decision yet if we're going to offer 16-inch barrels first or we're going to build guns. We have loading dies. We have drawings for the chamber and everything. We have chamber reamers. We have brass Hornby's made, a shitload of brass. We have that available. Discrete Ballistics also has some loading data and stuff, and they're working
Yep.
on the full ammo. I would say within 2 months um, you'll see some stuff on market. I think with Jackson and Gorilla you'll see theirs probably second half of the year. I
Okay.
you'll see stuff come out from us slowly here in the next couple months.
And realistically, from Q's standpoint, I mean, we're talking more bolt gun, when we're talking the fix for that end. Whereas with Faxon, I think they mentioned releasing more of a gas gun barrel as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they have that and a Remington 700 barrel in I think that's it. Um,
Okay.
but we're working on a gas gun now for a government customer, and so
Okay.
we've got three pre-production prototypes now that we're shooting and demoing with them. And what it is an 8-inch barrel gas gun that weighs 5 pounds.
Got it.
And I think you'll see that probably end of the year, early next year. So it's easy if so, and it's but if someone wants to get a barrel, build a gas gun, that's the beauty of this cartridge. Subsonic, supersonic, 20 round magazine capacity. You don't need special mags. Feeds reliably, um, works reliably. So I think you'll start to see it in people build. It's easy when it's just a barrel change. When you got to change a bolt and you got to change magazine and all, it becomes a little bit more cumbersome.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I mean, most people they have a 308 bolt gun, they have a 6.5 bolt gun, and
Yeah.
so if you can use the same face and all you're doing is actually just doing a barrel swap, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. I think the one thing you mentioned from the very get-go, though, that I thought was interesting is, you've had a lot of history and experience with more of the 8-inch barrel and then going into the 12-inch, but you mentioned a 16-inch on your first 8.6. When you were testing the 8.6 on a 16-inch, I mean, what sort of effective range did that have for you?
I mean, people say effective range. It's another thing with the this is not a dig at you, but like
Right,
effective, like
right,
like I've shot subsonic out of a 12-inch at 1,000 yards, hit
sure,
target. I don't think that's effective. It's ridiculous, but it's just to show a
yeah,
capability. I think effective, I think of killing.
sure,
So what I'm comfortable with 8.6, 16-inch barrel is I'll kill just about any animal there is at 600 meters.
okay.
So
So
when I think
so
that,
16 inches at 600 is actually very, very effective in your mind for takedown capacity.
yeah, I think it's great. And you get the added benefit because you get a higher BC, you get less drop because of the fast twist. Um,
Sure.
at 400, there's actually you have to start calculating. Um, oh Jesus, what is it? You have to start calculating for the twist. You get spin drift. That's what I was searching for. Sorry.
Got it.
You have to calculate for that, but it's also predictable. So you'll probably see long-term reticles where the vertical is curved once you get
Right.
400. It's
Right.
predictable. It works. I've shot animals with the 12-inch. I shot a blue wildebeest in Africa with the 12-inch barrel at 435 meters. Um, so the cartridge is effective on large animals, even with the short barrel. So we're focusing on
Okay.
the barrel. The 16 was done for a couple things if you wanted to shoot very far, but really for people who already have the fix and it's not an SBR, they could put a 16
Right.
inch barrel in it because the subsonic ammo is
Right.
so fun to shoot and it's effective and it's insanely quiet. It sounds like a 22 and you're shooting a 300
Yeah.
plus grain bullet.
Yeah.
It's one MOA or sub MOA. The 12-inch barrel, I think, is a real sweet spot. That's kind of my favorite when I'm in Africa because if I want to shoot
Okay.
something 400 meters, I can, and it's compact enough to where I have the gun on me, and I can, I've shot stuff at 9 meters with the 12-inch barrel. The 8-inch barrel is short, and I haven't shot a lot of animals with it yet. We've done gel testing. We've done a lot of shooting with it. We've done accuracy testing, and the 8-inch surprised me. I didn't really care about the 8-inch at first, but it's amazing. Like in the fix or in the gas gun, the gun is so compact, it's so effective, it's accurate, it's quiet, it's reliable. I like the short barrels. So this trip, when I go to Africa, I'm going to shoot some of the plains game with the 8-inch and be able to report back on. I'll shoot the GMX 185s. We haven't done a lot of shooting with that. I'll use the Barnes 160 grain TTSX. Great bullet. It's going to work great in that. And we'll see what else I. But I think, focusing on it's kind of like we designed 300 Blackout around 9-inch barrels. That's what the Navy chose, and it was a 1-in-7 twist. So we're able to go to 7-inch, 8-inch barrel, the mini fix and the honey badger, and it's effective because we went from 1-in-7 to 1-in-5. So that's still good. I don't really agree with SIG with the 5-inch barrel. I think it's too short, to be incredibly effective. But if you're inside 50 meters, that 5-inch is probably really good. But I think I don't really 50 meters. I think 100. And I like the 7-inch, and so I think we're seeing the same thing with 8.6. We're able to have a pretty broad window of barrel length, and partly because of the twist.
So I think when we are talking about barrel length, we are talking about easy swap from a bolt gun, gas gun, everything within that spectrum. I think the common thing that everybody's going to be talking about is, okay, well, yes, we can do this, but it's going to be best to be able to suppress it. So if somebody has another suppressor out there from another manufacturer, are you going to have a plan B option as well so they can utilize that? Because I know, one of the most common ones that everybody's talking about is obviously the Omega 36M, right? Or their new 46M. Are you going to have a plan B that can accommodate that? Or is that going to be kind of down the road, post pork chop?
Well, I don't really know their silencers, honestly, those new ones. But if they have a rear mount, like the Omega,
They do.
yeah, then as
Yep.
as we're able to accommodate like the big cherry bomb, we'll do it. Oh, yeah, it's one thing. I think we get some kind of hate over it, and probably my attitude and response to it, because I just don't give a shit. It's like, I'm not building a gun for you to put a silencer co-silencer on. If you want to do that and it worked, that's great to me. But I'm not going to do something special for you. It's just like left-handed. We don't build a left-handed fix.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense for what we're trying to do. I'm not our demographic, and and neither is any other left-handed guy. We have a back order, and we're going to focus on that. But I think when it comes to the other silencers, if it works, it does. But we're trying to do the best thing, and not everyone is our customer, and that's okay. And we're not trying to exclude other silencer makers. And like I said, we did the plan B. If the plan B works in this for some others, happy to do it.
Sure.
But what we're focusing on is the best thing. And that's when you see like let me see. Here's a 12-inch barrel. So you can tell the taper there works so good.
Oh yeah.
And that's the regular cherry bomb. So the 12-inch, so this is my gun. I just Swarovski 1-8, the Z8. This gun is compact and lightweight and will work on anything. Let me find the silencers here. But
so this is the one that you're actually taking into Africa and doing your hunting with. And I mean, basically every video, every picture that we have seen you with this 12-inch, this is your gun.
Yeah. Generally, sometimes it's not. And you think, the cartridge works with any SR25 mag or any 308 mag. This is the what is this? This is the Thunder Chicken silencer. Let me find the 8.6 silencer here.
Yeah, you've got so the 8.6 is the infamous pork chop, right?
Yeah, so this is the pork chop. This is a steel silencer.
So
It,
really, being steel, there's no restriction when it comes to barrel length on that one.
we don't have barrel length restrictions on our titanium. Yeah,
Good,
that's dead
good.
air shit. We don't do that. Um,
Yeah.
it's just a bigger cherry bomb. But even with our silencers, so we set out for this. So we developed some technology here. These are affordable. You're probably going to see these around the $750 price point. It's still
Which is really
it,
good.
the chair. Yeah, and we can manufacture these in quantity, which is difficult with the titanium. They're
Okay.
laser welded. They're not rated. Um, but we don't do the replaceable mounts or the replaceable front end caps. And it's the same philosophy I think we take with our firearms. We're trying to do the best thing. And when you have something screw into the rear or screw in the front, we wire EDM our silencers. We want the bore to be as perfect as possible with the bore of your rifle. And when you start doing these replacement parts, you lose that. There's a thread tolerance.
Absolutely.
It gets weaker. It gets heavier to accommodate the threads. So we try to do the best thing. And, it doesn't always translate in the commercial market. And that's okay. Like people can buy the silencer co-silencer. But I
Yeah.
think if you come to us, we're trying to innovate. We're trying to do the best thing. And, you have to compromise on some stuff. When I spoke about the list, 1 and 2 is really better than 1 and 3. But then people have to buy special bullets. And I don't think that's the right thing for the commercial market. And that's where I have to make tough decisions, and I don't like compromising. But sometimes it makes sense. But for me with silencers, it's like buy the right silencer, put it on the gun. Like all the buying a 45 caliber silencer and trying to silence everything from 45-70 to a 300 Win Mag to your 22,
Right.
your 9 millimeters, just stupid. Like I'm not interested in that. Yeah,
Well,
I'm trying to be the best.
I yeah, and I think to your point, I mean, look, at the end of the day, take the Apple iPhone, for instance, right? Everybody
Mm.
complains about the lightning port on it. They complain over and over that the lightning port's an issue. Everything's gone to USB-C, but you know what? People still buy it.
Yeah,
Why? Because it's a quality product, and that's what it is. So you kind of have to compromise on the consumer end, and that's okay. But at
I
the end of the day, they dominate it.
I love the fact that whether it's Elon Musk or it's Steve Jobs or even Bill Gates to some degree, who I don't really like, but they have the
Sure.
ball to do what they think is the best.
Yeah.
Social media gives everybody a platform to be equal, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, am I the most knowledgeable gun person in the world? Hell no, I'm not.
Yeah.
There's been brilliant people before me, currently, and will be after me. But if you've never accomplished anything or done anything in our industry, like you shouldn't have an equal voice to me.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Like people get on there and complain. They want to complain. People want to feel better that are fucking losers by tearing other people down. And I don't like. I'll engage in it, but I don't care. Like I don't.
Yeah.
The customer. Every day for a left-handed bolt gun. Like the answer is, it's just not. I think we've got limited resources here. And some of that is a time restriction. When you build something like the Fix, that's a 5-year project. When we build the next generation gas gun, that's a 5-year project that probably cost me $10 million, and that's on our own shoestring budget that I provide. Um,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't care if 100% of the people like it. I don't give a shit. Go buy something else. Go buy an Android. Go ahead.
Yeah.
For me, you think about presidential elections. Somebody gets 55%, it's a landslide. Like
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I realize I don't need a percent approval rating, and I only need 1% of the customers in firearms for my company for what I want, which is I
So
want to
that
come to work every day. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's what I appreciate though. I think there are a lot of people that really care about what others think. And somebody else's opinion matters to them, and they basically base all of their decision making off of what somebody else's opinion is. You don't see Steve Jobs doing that. In fact, he was criticized for the longest time about that. Elon Musk, he's probably one of the most abrasive people when it comes to standing up for what he believes, and he doesn't care as far as what somebody else is cares on their own opinion. It's
Yeah.
like, great, that's your opinion, but look at me and look what I'm doing. I mean,
I
that's
mean,
what he's done with Tesla.
I think those are two people that have changed our lives, whether you like them or you don't. Like
I agree.
Apple and Elon Musk have changed our lives, changed our grandchildren's lives, and he shouldn't give a shit
Yeah.
what he thinks.
Yeah.
And I think it to a very small degree with my company. Like we're not for everyone, and I don't care. Unapologetic about chasing innovation and making the best stuff, and for me to enjoy every day at work, and for my employees to enjoy every day at work. And
Right.
you're down with that, that's great. And if you're not, go buy Daniel Defense, man. I don't care. I'm glad you're supporting the gun industry. It's
Sure.
just hunting. Like everybody always has an opinion. And it's
Yeah.
one thing we're social such a cesspool. And I don't care. Like nobody's gonna I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me. If you're Chris Barrett or you're Reed Knight or you're whoever, and you're my peer, and you have an opinion, it matters, and I care. If you're
Absolutely.
somebody with an anonymous or private social media account, I don't give a shit what you think. Like I just
Right.
go buy from someone else like what we're doing. Like I'm trying to build the thing that I think is best, and I hope that people like it. And those that do, I appreciate the support and will always take
Yeah.
care of you. And we're chasing what we're doing. It doesn't make sense for me to develop the 8.6 cartridge. I'm not the ammo IRS. I can't tax everyone for making it. And we're open sourcing
Sure.
it. Did with 300 Blackout. And,
Yeah.
if someone doesn't like it or you're a little hater, you got a 300 Black, you better thank me. You can say whatever you want about J.D. Jones. J.D. Jones had 300 Whisper for 20 years, and nobody knew about it. And I think it's the same way with this company. We're going to continue to do what we want to do, and we hope that there is that 1% that really appreciates it. And it's great when 55% or 80% do. But, I ain't looking for anybody's approval. And that's just the way it is.
I think at the end of the day, I mean, that's what makes you different from the rest of the industry. I think there are a lot of good companies out there. There's a lot
Yeah.
of good innovation out there. And, I work in the medical technology side of the world, right? I work in the device side. So everything that is taking place in healthcare from, whether it's a thermometer or whether, it's an artificial valve inside of somebody's heart, there is a company that is behind that. But I think at the end of the day, what I appreciate about what you guys are doing is the innovation element of it. And
Yeah.
you're not trying to be like everybody else.
No.
It's easy to sit there and try to be everybody else because you have something to go off of.
Yeah. That's
But look, at the end of the day, the 300 blackout round, I don't know if you're ever going to remember this, but years ago when they had the very first Texas, it was the Texas Gun Fest.
yeah.
I believe that you had just sold AAC. You had gone over to SIG. I don't know if you were official with them or not, but I remember you really sat down with me. You talked about it and you said, look, at the end of the day, this round is going to be incredibly popular. And sure enough, it's actually my favorite round to shoot. So
Yep.
as you are developing the 8.6, I mean, that's something exciting to me because whether this gets the attention that it needs or not, at the end of the day, I love the 300 blackout round. That's
Yeah. Me
that's
too.
why having the
I love it
8.6 and being able to hear about the development
more.
is huge.
Yeah. I mean, just if you just like shooting with your friends, 8.6 is 3 times 300 blackout is. When you shoot a steel target with 300 black,
Sure.
the 220 grain Sierra Match Keen subsonic, and it's so quiet and it hits that target and gives you that ding, 8.6 blackout just about knocks the target down. I mean, it's just that much more fun, and it's that much more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I appreciate the kind words, but I think it's what we're chasing, and I think some people that are losers, they make careers out of like criticizing, and you know, I just don't care. I feel so blessed and fortunate that I have a place that I love, and I get to do what I want every day. I'd do it if I was a billionaire. I don't give a shit what any anonymous douchebag thinks. Um,
Yeah.
We don't make, we screw up a lot, and that's okay. But most people, when you say something new, they want to reject it, or it
Yeah.
hasn't been done. I'm sure it's the medical field, it's probably automotive, firearms, everything. And I think two things about that. Like you said, everybody, whether it's Daniel Defense or whoever, you build an AR, oh, big fucking deal. Innovation is oftentimes seems like magic, and it ain't cheap. And I think most people aren't built for it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And then I also think, like Steve Jobs, by all reports, is a pretty big asshole, and I'm really grateful for everything he did. And I don't give a shit if he was an asshole. Like, how do you get a normal dude to change the world? I
Yeah.
just People always want extraordinary shit. You're not going to get an ordinary guy. Um,
Yeah.
and I didn't start this company to make friends, and I don't care. Like, I feel like I'm here to do what I'm doing, and um, I just don't care about the criticisms. Like whether I was talking about SHOT Show and walking around never hearing any, but your story, like that matters to me, and I think anybody that's ever met me personally, um, would have a different view. I'm the same way now as I am. It's just who I am, and I think social media creates a place where people can lie, people can hide behind something. They can spread misinformation very easily, which I think is very unfortunate for the customer. But anybody that
Yeah.
I engage with that's a customer of ours, it's reasonable. I don't think we're ever going to have an issue. Um, you know, I, I don't know. When we talk about like automotive, I have the new Ford Raptor, and I didn't even want it. And my buddy, who's a wonderful guy who manages these car dealerships, I just wanted a truck. He's like, I can get you the new Raptor. You got to get it. So incredible. And the truck is so incredible. I can't believe it's not
Sure.
$250,000. And I really appreciate the people that went the extra mile with that compared to the standard F-150. And whoever that is
Absolutely.
at Ford that's doing that work, because all that stuff eventually translates into the market and just the average car. Man, I'm grateful for those people. Um, I don't know. I could
Yeah.
ramble some more, but
I think that's the biggest thing though is, but see, honestly, at the end of the day, Kevin, a lot of people really don't recognize where innovation comes from. There's a lot of money that's needed to be able to develop products. Doesn't matter if it's medical, doesn't matter if it's, the gun industry, automotive, it doesn't make a difference. Money needs to be present to be able
yeah,
to develop innovation. But
most
at the same time, money doesn't sit there and develop innovation. It funds it,
yeah,
but it takes an innovative mind to bring it to market,
and
right?
it takes people with a passion. You know,
Correct.
I don't want anyone to ever work at my company that's here for just a paycheck. I want
Yeah.
people to, when we fire them, that they cry, we got to drag them out of here. I want people that want to get after it like I do. And you
Yeah.
innovation from people who are not passionate and are not dedicated. And a lot of times those people, they don't mesh well with the average person. But you think about,
Yeah.
I don't know who runs Ford right now. I don't give a shit.
Sure.
He might be a total asshole. Don't care. They made a great truck. I love
Yeah.
it.
Agreed.
But I would love to have access to him to ask him questions. And I think you're going
Yeah.
to our company. I think it's unfortunate. I think you're going to see us abandon social media. We never had a marketing group, I did all the marketing until not so 2 Novembers ago. So what is that? 14 months. We never had any.
Yeah.
It was just me. Now we have a marketing team, and so we have all these little douchebags in our industry that report our accounts and get them blocked. Well, why am I going to continue to put effort into this when that can
Sure.
so irrational? So you'll probably see us abandon all social media and go towards our own marketing that we can control, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so
I think at the end of the day, I mean, I can appreciate that. I really wanted to be able to have you on an Instagram live to really be able to discuss these things. I appreciate what you're doing from an innovation standpoint.
thank you.
Whether it was from the very first time that we spoke about 300 blackout, up in Liberty Hill, Texas, or whether we're talking about the 8.6 right now. I think what everybody here is really curious about, and I know you've already mentioned this, the 8.6 blackout barrels through Faxon probably going to be here within the next 2 to 3 months. Round availability, probably estimated same time frame, I would assume, from a Hornady or Gorilla standpoint. I mean, when do you really think that from the Q standpoint, we're going to really start seeing your products hit the market? I don't want to keep you too much longer since you've already given me a great hour. But, I think that's a dying question everybody has.
Yeah, I know, but whether it's raw materials or whatever's going
Yeah,
on, there's just I don't give ETAs to people anymore, um,
yeah,
because it's stuff I can't control, and I don't own the ammo companies.
right.
I think you'll see the
Yeah,
second half of the year, you will see guns from several companies and ammo several companies. And in the meantime, you'll see loading dies, load information, reamers. You'll see barrels for us. You'll see guns for, the fix built in 8.6. It's going to be a slow roll. I mean, it's just the way
yeah,
we sort of, but I think long term, what you're going to see is something that is incredibly exciting. It's affordable and it makes sense. Whether you target shoot or
yeah,
you hunt, 8.6, just like 300 Blackout did, is going to change our industry. Period. Um,
yeah,
when we developed 300 Blackout, we sold probably between 50 and 100 to one 5.56 silencers over 7.62 silencers. 7.62 is
yeah.
an app, and that switched probably times 10 now, and that was from
Sure.
Blackout. And I think you're going to see this with 8.6 because you can do it in your bolt guns. You'll see compact bolt guns that are light. You'll see gas guns, full mag capacity, super subsonic. And then you also, another great thing is whether it's POF or DPMS or the gun we're developing, compact guns the size of the AR-15 that can handle this round. So like I said, our gas gun is got an 8-inch barrel and it's 5 pounds. Um,
Yeah.
so I think the industry's changing, and I think there's a couple things going on. Arm brace, we'll see what happens in August with that, since we developed this
Yep.
for short barrel. I think to coincide with that, it's awesome. And shout out to Silencer Shop, one of my favorites, probably Dave Matheny, probably the most innovative guy in our entire industry, is pushing the Form 4s, the E forms, and working with ATF. And I think over the next year or so, you're going to see those um, get quick. We're going to see Form 4s in 60 days, I hope. And so then
Yeah.
SBR, we've opened that up because nobody cares about the tax anymore. And they made it so easy with the kiosk and now with the e-forms. I think you're going to see a
It's great.
big change in the industry. You see Christensen Arms, you see SIG, you see other companies copying the fix, building short barrel bolt guns. It's becoming popular and people realize how fun and effective that is. Like the only reason a bunch of guns are 16 inches is just because of the law. It's
Sure.
a random barrel.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think
I agree.
as Form 4s continue to get easier, you're going to see the industry go in that direction. And that's exciting.
Yeah, I know, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, I know that if anybody wants to buy an SBR right now, I mean, the wait on it is forever. But what I have done, at least, historically, even up until now, you do have the capacity of taking a pistol in its current form and then actually doing the Form 1 on it and turning your SBR within 30 days. I think that's pretty exciting. I
Yeah.
mean, I've done that with several of your guys' guns, and
Nice.
I wouldn't go back on it. But look, it's been an hour and I could keep going and going. What I do want to do, and I know that there are more people still here, you obviously have your hunt here in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What I'd love is to sit there and do a follow-up to this. And, hopefully at that time you can kind of give us an update as far as how the hunt went, how it performed from the 8-inch barrel, with the 8.6. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is just exciting to be able to have you on here and be able to have enough people here watching the exact same thing that I'm watching, and your innovation's great.
Well,
So
thank
I definitely want to appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah, get the support from you and everyone else and the interest.
yeah,
I'd like to do a follow up. On our YouTube channel right now, we've got a few videos of me hunting and shooting stuff with 8.6. There's a bush buck, a kudu, great shot on a kudu. Um, and we'll get a bunch more on this hunt, and we'll get them posted up.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're transparent. I mean, anything that you want to know, we'll discuss, and
Yeah.
I'll come back and follow up with you on what I learned on 8 inch.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, we didn't even get the chance to really get to, what the future Q looks like. I mean, literally the best trigger ever made. I mean, goodness, man.
Um,
I mean, I've got it right there available. But what I do want you to do though is, because we have had a lot more followers than I thought would actually be on here, is you've obviously seen the amount of comments that are being made here. You've probably seen numerous people pop up over and over. I did mention that we do have a giveaway. Okay. And we've
yeah.
got two of your shirts here. So what I do want you to do is obviously pick somebody inside of, that you think would actually be, somebody who you choose to have this first giveaway to. I'm going to do the second one, but at the end of the day, man, I really appreciate the time you put into this, and definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys are continuing to do.
Well,
So,
and I appreciate it. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I think you should pick. It's all good to me, and I appreciate you doing that. And however we can support you in the channel is great.
Yeah.
Um, yes,
Man, no,
I
I
think you picked.
appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, Kevin, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody really joining here.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're an Elon Musk to me for the gun industry, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Well,
So I'm
thank you.
looking forward to talking to you here shortly.
Yeah, me
So,
too. And appreciate. Let's do the follow up. And I think the future is going to be
yeah,
just more but bigger of what we're doing here. And I think it's something that's going to serve the industry and our military and government well, and people are going to get excited about it. We've got a few new big projects. We keep the small things like the trigger and the bipod and stuff in there, but we're working on a few big things. And it takes time, and I think we're in a great spot that we don't have to have it ready. These things ready by SHOT Show or anything.
yeah.
Release stuff when it's correct, and not an artificial deadline. And I appreciate everybody's patience with that and their interest and support. And that's it. And I'll see you after Africa then.
That sounds good. Well, definitely good luck to you on that.
Thank.
And most importantly, I mean, safe travels. I mean,
Oh,
it's obviously quite a time right now. So we're looking forward to following up here shortly.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
all right, Kevin, appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.